Hello and welcome to this edition of the Angels and Destiny show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The accepted meaning of angel is messenger and the accepted meaning of destiny is to make, firm, establish. So my guest and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And of course, I love working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful returning guest, Jen Thomas. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live at a later date, as it means a lot to both of us to connect with like-minded people. Now, if you've never met me before, then my name is Ray, and I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy. And I'm a spiritual guide and healer who is passionate about helping you reconnect with your divine presence and step into your purpose. Now, through angelic Reiki, angel oracle cards, guided meditations, and exploring past and future lives, I support you in healing your past and creating a soul-aligned future. Now, my journey has taught me with the right tools and guidance, we can all connect with our higher selves, embrace transformation, and live a life full of abundance and fulfillment. Now, each episode of this show covers various themes of your journey, a mini guided meditation or angel oracle card reading with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's returning guest, Jen Thomas, about how nature can guide us back to ourselves, helping us master our emotions, trust our intuition, and reclaim true self-leadership. Now, Jen is a priestess of Goddess Isis, professional coach and TEDx speaker, an interspecies communicator and certified angel guide with over 9 years of experience. Now, after 20 years in corporate, a burnout in 2015, which sparked her awakening, leading Jen to find healing and belonging through nature. Now, Jen empowers women to reclaim their autonomy through emotional mastery and self-leadership. And her latest ebook, Nature's Wisdom, Life Lessons from Mother Earth, is the powerful gateway home to ourselves through the wisdom of nature. Now, with testimonials such as, I've just spent an hour with Jen and absolutely buzzing. I really needed some focus and clarity. Within minutes, Jen tapped right into what was holding me back and encouraged the focus to flow freely. I now know exactly what I want to do next and how to start moving forward. And I just wanted to say a big thanks for today's session. It really lifted me up to a place I was much happier in. I know I've said this before, but you can never hear it too many times. You are amazing. And I recently, Jen did a live session about nature, and it was Nature's Wisdom, and it was absolutely amazing. So without further delay, hello, Jen, and a warm welcome back to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
Oh, hello, my darling. It's so lovely to be here again, and thank you for such a warm welcome. I'm delighted to be back in your show and back in this space. Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. I'm really well. Having mastered some, emotions through some tumultuous times, and I only see those times continuing. And I think what I have learnt the most over this 10-year experience, so it's nearly 10 years ago since I left corporate, wow, is that there's another way. There's another way, and it isn't what we've been shown. It isn't what we've been conditioned in. It isn't what we learned, and it isn't what we grew up in. And it isn't the way that I do it either. And it isn't the way that you do it. It is the way that each one of us chooses to do it. And that is, as a priestess of Goddess Isis, that is the absolute ethos of my work, is about embracing our uniqueness. So even when I'm training, women in my priestess training program, I'm not saying to them, right, here's the modalities, here's the tools, this is how you do it. I say, we're going to uncover you, the real deepest, truest you, and build her up and create that foundation that she can be the leader that she was always destined to be, whether that be of her own life or a leader for others, in her own unique way. In her own unique way. It is not my way. It is, my way is perhaps to inspire, perhaps to awaken, perhaps just to show that there is another way. For those of your listeners and followers who don't know me, which I'm sure there are many, I left my 20-year corporate career 10 years ago nearly, to escape. And I laugh now. I mean, there was a big fat clue. I used to refer to the office as the prison. I mean, there was a clue there, wasn't there?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I left the prison, and yeah, retrained and launched my own business. And a few years later and further down that road, whilst I'd, detached from a lot of the system and the institution, what I finally realized a few years ago was that I had recreated the same prison, albeit surrounded by trees and flowers. So it was a whole new level of illusion to break through. And what I didn't realize, consciously at least, was that my soul and my purpose was aligning more deeply to recognizing that I had not been leading myself and I had not been choosing myself. And instead, I'd spent my entire life responding to situations and events, absolutely doing the best that I could with what I had at the time. But this really came to light in January last year, 2024. I was sat on my sofa, all, rested. I hibernate over Christmas. I take 2 weeks and I hibernate to restore and rejuvenate and revitalize. And there I was, sat on my sofa, and I was pen and paper, post-it notes, colored pens, oracle cards. This is how I write my business plan at the beginning of the year. And I was getting really excited about what was going to unfold for the year. And my phone went, and I saw, you get on the screen, who it is. And it was my landlord. And I just had that feeling, that sinking feeling. So I'd lived in that house for 8 years, affectionately known as the Wendy house, because after burnout and leaving corporate and retraining, this teeny tiny little house that I chose to live in, number 11, of course, became my safe haven. But by, probably a year before I left there, it had started to feel more like another cage, another prison. Like I was trying so hard to spread my wings, but there wasn't room. And it was nothing to do with the size of the house I lived in, and everything to do with the energy I was in and creating. So when my landlord phoned in January and said, I appreciate this might be out of the blue, but I've decided to sell the house, and I would like to offer you first refusal. And I chuckled. And having just been paying a Surrey level of rent for the previous 8 years and all the associated costs with living in Surrey, I laughed and said, yes, thank you. However, I'm not in that financial position to do so. And I freefalled after that phone call. I freefalled. And I was also just coming out of a suspected bowel cancer episode. Thankfully, it wasn't. And I had to have some surgery and some things removed, but I didn't need any further treatment from there. So I was just starting to recover, you know, and get, you know, excited about life. And there I was, bam, and I was kind of, the universe has thrown me into the pit again. But I remembered who I am. And I remembered that I'm not alone. I remembered my angels, my goddess, my guides around me. And I remembered that the universe does everything for me, not to me. I had not been thrown in a pit. So I allowed the fear to rise. I allowed it, and I allowed myself to express it. You know, I did some writing. Of course, I went walking out in nature. I cried. I essentially stamped my feet. You know, why is this happening for me? And why is it happening to me? You know, still leaning into that victim energy a little. And nature, as always, it's more than grounding. I feel held. I feel held by nature. And because I experience true unconditional love when I'm in nature. And that's what I learned when I first burnt out and left corporate. In the pit that I had created for myself, at the depths of that pit, I had no level of self-love, no level of self-acceptance, no, and if I'm really honest, I didn't know who I was anymore. I had a loss of identity as well. And nature was my healer. Nature was my gateway. Nature was my loving door to walk through. And she accepted me completely unconditionally and lovingly, whether I had washed my hair that day or not, whether I had put makeup on or not, whether I had snot bubbles coming out of my face. Or, you know, or whether I was in a more peaceful, joyful state, you know, wherever I was at, she loved and accepted me and reflected that back to me as, so this was January, the December, January, that winter. And it was all reflected back to me by the deer standing still in my path and just looking at me and sharing that energy of serenity and peace that only seems to come from deer. That the robins were singing their little hearts out in absolute joy and celebration of just being. And that the you know, the little, as the buds appear on the trees and they've got their furry protective coats still on, you know, from the frost and the cold, but they're showing signs of life. Spring is coming. And so back to my sofa and the phone call and the spiraling, I went out in nature and I breathed and I allowed her to hold me. And in that moment, in those moments were, okay, thank you. I know this is happening for me. I know this is happening for me. So therefore, what is the opportunity for me here? And I could feel myself, rather than feeling fearful and worried, I could feel myself getting excited and super optimistic. And of course, my reticular activating system had switched on and my subconscious then was starting to look for opportunities everywhere I went. And it did take a few weeks, but I had this, as we know, this just divine idea just dropped in. It just dropped in. And it spoke so clearly to me to satisfy and meet and fuel my two greatest desires, being in and around nature and animals, and travel and exploring. So fast forward well over a year now, and I am a traveling cat sitter. That is how I now live. So I get to be with cats and animals and explore and travel. Oh, I love it. I couldn't be happier. So nature has always been my healer. She's always been there, unconditionally, and the strongest of foundations. So, but coming back to, so yeah, another hilarious move by the universe. So after a month, in February, my landlord phones again. And I'm thinking, oh, this is it. He's found a buyer. You know, I'm going to have to make a move. And I was still waiting for another surgery, another 2 surgeries. I'm still waiting on another 2 surgeries. So I was kind of, oh, I hope you haven't sold it. I can't, I need to be here for my health. And so he phoned and he said, I've decided not to sell. I've decided not to sell. I was like, universe, pardon my French, my language, pardon my language, but what the fuck? Universe, come on. And of course, what was happening that took me a little while to consciously realize what was happening was that I was being invited to lead myself, to stop responding to situations and events and to choose and decide for myself. So I did. And I decided and chose for myself, right, I will wait until my surgeries are all complete and out of the way, which was early May, and then I will have my notice in and do this. So I did that. I absolutely did that. And then the universe threw me another huge curveball, and I didn't understand it for months. I didn't understand it. So I'd handed in my notice. I had 2 months' notice, cue all the packing and all the releasing of energy and stuff. It was like, I need to travel light. I choose to travel light. And so just before 2 days before I was due to hand over the keys and start this new, exciting, amazing adventure, I had to go do my last visit to the hospital and just check that all the scars and everything were healing, which is what I thought I was going for. And I wasn't. I was diagnosed with stage 2 melanoma and a grade 4 tumor. And was, again, once more in free fall. And I swear I had some packing tape still stuck to my face. I was, literally just in shorts and t-shirt. I was all sweaty from the packing. I was like, I'm leaving in 2 days. Like, it's all good. Let's go. And no, it was that I'm really sorry to have to share with you moment. And you are required urgently to have multiple scans and further surgery to check that this hasn't spread. You may be looking at a very different future, if at all. And, just went from this, riding high, I'm just about to start my adventure, to, I'm sorry, I'm being faced with my mortality. What? And so within 24 hours, I was having MRI scans, PET-TC scans, you name it, it was happening. And still, I handed over the keys and off I went. Off I went to my first sit. And thank you. I know this is happening for me. So what is the opportunity for me here? And it sucks, by the way, universe, just so you know, I don't like this and I'm not happy about it, but thank you. I know this is happening for me and I will be able to see the reason for it in time. I will. I know I will, but right now. And so I allowed myself to feel. I allowed myself to feel the fear, feel, and allowed all the hundreds and hundreds of questions that were flying through. And I went to nature. I went to nature and I asked for healing. I, in fact, went and found a pine tree that I've been very connected to for the last, since I've lived there, actually. And I stood with this tree and I opened a communication channel and I said, thank you. Thank you for healing me. Thank you for being my strength. Thank you for holding me. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your love. Thank you. And even as I'm saying it now, I'm still connected with that tree. And she gifted me one of her pine cones, which I carry around with me as well now. But it is that connection, recognizing I am part of this. I'm not separate from this. And so again, I recognized I need to lead here. I need to decide. I need to choose. And so driving away from the hospital, I heard myself say, I decide, I choose, I do not give my power away to cancer. I choose, I decide. And it was quite the statement to make and put out there. But it helped me move into acceptance, which then helped me move into surrender very quickly. So then this is now Lionsgate 2024, and I'm still waiting on a date for surgery. I'm now at my first house sit in Norfolk with 3 amazing, beautiful, wonderful, hilarious cats. And I led on the earth, in the garden, in the sunshine, surrounded myself with my crystals, set the intention to receive what I needed from the Sirius star. So as a priestess of Goddess Isis, I work under the Sirius star and that sacred space and energy. And so I called upon the starlight beings of the Sirius star to heal me, to support me, and to reveal to me what I needed to know. And I won't go into the detail of it here, but I went on a journey and a vision where I could see and perceive where I had been putting everybody else before me, even though I didn't believe I was doing that. It was so incredibly subtle that everybody else's happiness was more important than my own. And that is when I realized I had to choose me. I had to choose me over and above people that I love dearly. And it wasn't easy. You know, the guilt and the shame and I was rehearsing apologies in my head already, you know. But yeah, I had to practice. I choose me. I choose me because I love me and I know I have a purpose here. I know I have a purpose here. I know this is happening for me. So I know there is an opportunity for me. And if there's an opportunity for me, I know it is in service of others. What I also knew at that time was that it wasn't going to be how to help people heal from cancer. I knew that wasn't my path, which was really interesting, right? Really interesting. That was the journey I was going on, but that wasn't what I was here. It's not what I'm here to do. So what I realized and what the cancer taught me, apart from being able to choose myself, lead myself, decide for myself, take ownership of myself, my life, my wants, my needs, without guilt, without shame, and without apology, I think is especially hard for empaths, especially hard for us. and sensitive people and intuitives. So what I learned was that what I'm here to master and to empower other people to master is our emotions, specifically fear. Because I had, for me, my two greatest fears: homelessness, cancer. They were my two greatest fears. Bam, well, have both of them, darling. Here you go. And so, yeah, and I'm not here now to say nothing scares me. I'm not scared of anything, because that fundamentally is not true. What I am here to say is that I recognize fear, and now I walk towards it with love, openness, and compassion and gratitude, because I know it's therefore there to teach me something that is to strengthen me. But of course, on the human level, our nervous system goes nuts, and to have that calm, conscious thought that I have right now is not possible in those moments. It's just not possible. So it is allowing the fear to move through you, allow it to surface, I think, is so important, because when we suppress it, deny it, try and push it away, run away from it, or fight it, it comes back to bites on the ass.
Yeah.
Essentially. And so it is coming back to the truth of us, because the truth, and I know we all know this intellectually, and I know your audience knows this already, love is our greatest strength. And whatever the question is, love is the answer. I know we know this intellectually, right? And I know many of us embody it and practice it. And then we're faced with whatever your greatest fear is. Maybe it isn't your mortality, maybe it isn't homelessness, maybe it is being bankrupt, I don't know, whatever it might be, or your relationship ending. Then it is knowing that you have a choice and that there's another way. You have a choice and that there's another way. It doesn't matter how shit it is, you have a choice. There is always a choice, and there is always another way. And it is about switching on that system within us, calling in your spiritual help, your help from nature, your starlight beings, your galactic being, whomever, however you are in a tree, however you are doing that. And knowing that this is happening for you, and that there is an opportunity. There is opportunity, multiple opportunities. And so then, I'm not even finished yet, right? So that is kind of the worst of the trauma, I guess. So then I was really delving into this managing fear, emotional mastery, leadership, self-leadership. And I could feel that niggle, that thing, that niggle. It's there. You can't put your finger on it. You can't quite identify it, but you do know it's there.
Yeah.
No, it's there. And all the cards you pull for yourself, or the guidance you seek from your guides, they're telling you it's there, but you ain't seeing it. And it was to do with my book, my ebook, Nature's Wisdom. So I published Nature's Wisdom on Substack 18 months ago. There it was. I put it out there and I did nothing with it. I didn't really talk about it. I put a couple of posts out. I mentioned it a few times, and then that was it. I left it. And I realized it was because I had my little niggle, this thing over here that I couldn't see, but knew it was there really, was this lovely thing called imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah, we've all been there.
Hands up. ever experienced imposter syndrome. Oh my God. Oh, there it was. After all of this, there it is. There it is. And so, of course, I delved much deeper. Right, what's behind this imposter syndrome? Lifted up the carpet. Come on, out you come. Let's have a look. Do your worst. Let's have a look. And there it came in full flow. I'm not good enough. I'm not important enough. I'm not significant. And I don't belong in this space. I don't belong. Nothing like a core belief system and an unconscious voice program running the show to make you not talk about the thing that actually you're really passionate about and really helps. And so you arrived at my event last weekend, which was very much, I know how important this work is. I know how many people it can help. I know I was guided by a sacred white lion guardian to write the book to help people in the way that nature has helped me. And I think my judgment of it, or the judgment of myself around the ebook had been, well, I'm just telling my story, which is the story from burnout to writing the book, by the way. Nobody wants to hear my story. Why does that matter? No one gives a shit. And the second thing was, the perfectionism. I need to be in control. And I was like, well, all the stories, the life lessons that nature have given me as an interspecies communicator, then it's not taking people on a linear journey. And I heard myself say it, go, yes, because healing is such a linear journey, isn't it, Jen? It is such a, do this step, this step. It's so like that, isn't it?
Yep.
And yeah, recognized the perfection in the imperfection. And of course, Jen, trust in nature, trust in nature's wisdom. Huh. I've written a book about that, And prior to the event that I held on Sunday, I'd actually hosted a much deeper dive session in my Soul Sanctuary membership, which I run every week. And essentially just said to my community, look, full on imposter syndrome going on here. And I'm being upfront and honest about this because this is now how I'm dealing with it and moving through it and taking ownership of it. And just at that point, now I'm ready to share this with you. Thank you for trusting in yourselves, and thank you for trusting in me. And I read one of the life lessons from a caterpillar to my community, to the group. And then I shared what I call heart explorations, so journal prompts, heart explorations. And I watched every single member of my community. I just witnessed this transformation happening within them in the moment. And then they spoke about it. And it's life-changing. And I got really emotional in the session because I was like, oh my God, why have I taken so long? Why have I taken so long to put this out there? People need this. It's not up to me anymore. It's not up to me. Like, in fact, I've become the barrier. Oh my goodness. So, and then I had greater confirmation of that just this week, as I'm sure you've witnessed it and observed it a lot, and I know your audience is as well. The conversations around AI and, machines taking over the world, etc. And I get it. I mean, it is growing rapidly, and there is a lot of, I believe there's a lot of use for AI, but I can also see, you know, so my business mentor was talking about this on Monday evening, and she was talking about how she can see it and believes fundamentally that AI can wipe out white collar and blue collar jobs, which will see, you know, the economy take a bit of a dive slash collapse. So, and that, again, emotional mastery. I will not be led by fear or scaremongering. But what I realized as she was talking, I realized now more than ever, our connection with nature, our connection with our true selves, our true identity is the difference between us surviving and thriving. You know, and it is that being able to learn intuitive leadership, not just learn it, but own it and believe in it, and for it to become your foundation, no matter your walk of life, no matter your work or your job or your role. And that nature is our most trusted guide and wisdom in that, because for me, this is now a journey of truth. It's about truth now. AI is knowledge, and knowledge, as we know, can have power, but it isn't everything. Wisdom and truth and discernment, that's everything. And for me, I personally do not believe AI can ever replace that. I think it can imitate it and fake it. But for those of us that are intuitive and sensitive and practiced and switched on, we can feel the fake. So, yeah, nature is our greatest healer and our greatest guide. And she shows us how to lead ourselves, how to choose ourselves without guilt, shame, or apology. And she shows us that there's another way. There's another way.
Yeah. So if someone sort of like was thinking, oh, you know, this sounds really great, you know, but I don't have, you know, interspecies connection, you know, how am I supposed to connect to nature? What would be one of the first things you would suggest that somebody do?
I would invite them to explore how they communicate in other aspects of their life beyond words. So when they're connecting with their spirit guides, their angels, past loved ones, however they're connecting, it's exactly the same way. So this is interspecies communication, is not everybody can do it. It's not a specialism. It's not only certain people. Everybody can do it. My belief is if you've got a heartbeat and a consciousness, you can communicate with nature. You know, it is the communication is from here. Absolutely, it is. You tap into your lead strength. So for me, it is I'm highly clairvoyant. So I will communicate in images back and forth, but I'm also highly claircognizant. So I just know what they mean when they're showing me, you know. So the first step is to look at, well, how do I feel? How do I connect? How do I feel connected to spirit, the universe, God, goddess? How do I feel connected? And therefore, how can I extend that or expand that to the trees, the earth, the sky, birds, cats? One is sat just behind me here. And then the other thing, and I can even say this to my brothers who are fully skeptical, not even skeptical, they're just like, I don't understand you or what you do. A polar opposite end of the scale. But they both have dogs. And so I've said to them, well, so tell me, how do you know, and I know that you know, how do you know how your dog is feeling? In any given moment, and I know you know that how they're feeling. And they started doing the well, it's how they're sat, it's how they're led, it's how they're barking or whimpering. I'm like, yeah, and beyond that, and beyond that, how do you know as soon as you walk into the room and it is just the dog there, they're not doing anything, and you know that something's wrong? How do you know that? Oh, I just know, or I feel it, right? That, it's that. We all know it. We all know how our pets are feeling. They're not talking to us. Well, sometimes they do. You know, it's dinner time and they're meowing at your ankles. I wonder what they're trying to say to me.
Or trying to nibble on you.
Yeah, it is. It comes back to trust. Trust what you're thinking and feeling. It's truth.
Yeah. And of course, actually going out in nature, switching off the mobile phone, the computer, the games, you know, especially with children. You know, even if you get them for 5 minutes outside without looking at their phone or a game or anything like that, just to sit by a tree,
Yeah, just
sit
to
by some
connect.
flowers, sit by some water, you know, a few minutes each day helps that connection.
Yes. And what, particularly with children, I believe, and our inner child, when you're doing that, you have a sense of belonging. And that gives you a sense of safety. So all the fear mongering going on doesn't touch you in the same way, because you've got that sense of safety and belonging.
Exactly. So absolutely brilliant words. So as you know, I do guided meditations and I do angel oracle cards. And each week I like to ask my guests whether they would like me to do a mini guided meditation or put an oracle card for themselves and those watching. So Jen, what would you like me to do?
Oh, I think given what we've been talking about, I think a meditation is calling, and I will pull an animal oracle card.
Well, I tell you what, if you pull the animal oracle cards and then I'll do a channeled guided meditation from that oracle card.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What a team. What a
I
team.
know.
So so I've got my little travel size pocket spirit of the animals oracle, and it is by Jodie Bergsma. Okay, so let's see. What does everybody need to know? This. Oh, I love. Oh, this is. You can't make it up, Ray.
No,
You
push
cannot
card.
make. This is Moose, the moose, and it is wisdom. It is wisdom. I'll read the words. They're very little, so I'll try and read them. Let your head and mind reach to the stars, yet keep your feet grounded on the earth. Listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul. The ancestors speak through you. You know much. Oh, nature's wisdom right there.
I know how perfect could it be? So let's see what I'm guided to do this very short meditation on. So Jen and everyone watching, please just close your eyes. And as you do so, take a deep breath in, and on the out breath, just release what doesn't need to be here for this moment in time. And just allow your breathing to fall into its natural rhythm. Every in-breath relaxing you more and more. And every out-breath just releasing what doesn't need to be here. And just think about relaxing your whole body. Think about relaxing your whole body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, all the way down your arms to your fingertips. But when you think about relaxing, so you will relax. Give yourself permission and allow yourself to relax. And just take your awareness to your head now and allow your whole head to start to relax. Beautiful relaxation through your head and your face, moving all the way down to your neck, and all your neck muscles starting to relax. And this relaxation moving down to your shoulders, and your shoulders being bathed in beautiful warm sunshine, feeling so relaxed. As this relaxation moves down your arms to your fingers, and allow it to move into your upper body, your chest, your stomach, the whole of your back just relaxing. As this relaxation moves down into your hips, your pelvis, your buttocks, going all the way down your legs to your feet and your toes. And your whole body is just so relaxed. And I'd like you now to engage your imagination and see, fully imagine or know yourself standing at the edge of a beautiful forest. Beautiful forest in the middle of the night. The sky is a midnight blue, and the stars are just shining so brightly. They're like diamonds in the sky. And there's a gentle, warm breeze. And you find yourself just standing there with the forest behind you. And in front of you, just the vastness of space. And you realize that there's something with you, an energy. And you realize that it's a moose standing next to you. But you don't feel afraid. You just feel the strength coming from this moose. And you can feel the energy of the stars coming down. And their ancient wisdom, along with the strength and the wisdom of the moose. And you feel the energy of the forest behind you. And as if you're becoming a tree, it's like your body is the trunk of the tree, and you can feel roots going from your bottom of your feet all the way down into earth, into Gaia, connecting with every single root, every single part of earth. And you notice that your arms are like branches reaching out to the cosmos, connecting to everything around. Maybe touching the moose and feeling that deep connection. As you notice your head connecting with the stars, the energy of the universe, the wisdom, the knowledge. And I'll just leave you for a few seconds, connecting fully, knowing that strength, that wisdom, that you have, that connection to every single thing. Just embody yourself as that tree of knowledge, that tree of wisdom, able to withstand everything that is thrown at you as trees are apt to do. And in a moment, I'm going to count you back from 1 to 5. And as you come back, you'll bring back that wisdom, that knowledge, that deep connection to animals, to nature, to the universe, to Gaia. So start coming back now, 1, coming further back 2, remembering your whole experience, all the way back 3, knowing you're going to embody all of that, all the way back 4, 5, come back into your body, into the here and now. Move your body, wiggle your fingers and toes, open your eyes when you are ready. And welcome back.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. My favorite place in the forest with the trees and a moose.
What more could we ask for? So everyone watching, do let us know how you found this guided meditation and whether you get any inspiration from the card. And if you've got any questions, then please do put those in, and Jen and I will circle back to answer them for you. So Jen, do you have any insights or thoughts or last words of wisdom to leave our viewers?
I'm going to read a message that I received from the Anunnaki this morning in my meditation, because it's just beautiful and powerful. The time of holding on to others' fear is over. It has no service. Elevate yourselves so others may see and follow. Elevation starts in the heart whilst the feet are held by Mother Earth. Elevation lifts you, frees you, guides you, and allows flow. Elevation lightens you in every way.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome.
So I hope everyone, you've enjoyed this conversation and found it insightful, because I know I definitely have. So if people want to connect with you, Jen, how do they do that? And do you have anything coming up at the moment? Any free gifts, offers to share?
So the best place to find me is either on Facebook, Jen Thomas, or on email, Jenny with a Y at revitalizecoaching.co.uk. That's revitalize with an S. And I have a gift for you and all your listeners, is to get a £5 coupon off Nature's Wisdom. So if anybody would like that £5 off, please email me, Jenny at revitalizecoaching.co.uk, and I will send you the coupon.
Beautiful. And I will put those links in the comments so that people can just click on them and go straight there for it, and they can just copy your email address. And again, thank you, Jen, so much for sharing your wisdom and for coming back on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Oh, thank you. It's been lovely to be here again and to, share this space and this energy with you and your audience. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. And, for everyone watching, if you'd like to continue deepening your connection with the angels, then I do have a free 5-day angel connection journey to help you open your channel and start receiving clear messages from your angels and guides. And for those of you who'd love ongoing support, guidance and community, then my Angel Wings membership is a beautiful space where we come together for live guided meditation, spiritual growth, soul nourishing practices, support you heal, connect and live a life with purpose. And you'll also receive access to a beautiful library of past meditations and teachings, so you always have guidance and support. And we have an absolutely amazing WhatsApp group where everyone just supports each other all the time. It's constantly going. It is absolutely amazing. And of course, if you are ready to deepen and get a truly personal transformation, then my Soul Path Discovery program with personal sessions is a powerful journey of healing and self-discovery to help you release old patterns, reconnect with your soul gifts, and align with your life of purpose, abundance, and fulfillment that you were always meant to live. and all the links will be in the comments so you can explore what feels right for you. And again, thank you everyone so much for watching. And I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more people who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny, just like you. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe and hit that bell button to be notified of when the show goes live or I post new guided meditations. And remember, every time you like, share, comment, watch any of my work, any of Jen's work, any of my guests' work, you're really helping us to, with all the algorithms that are out there, to help us get our messages out there, to be part of that beautiful web of consciousness that helps raise the vibration of every single person and the planet. So you are part of this journey as well. And I look forward to you joining me same time, same place next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.